basically.
Pulling the trigger straight there. That's fantastic.
Yeah. You know, so roll out a fixed monthly fee and make it affordable, make it good, but also make it so that if businesses pay, if they stop paying, all their services get turned off. It's gold. Yeah. It's good for good payers because it's a great thing. But let's say, for example, someone decides to miss one payment. If you don't pay, your website's going off, your CRM's going off, your recruitment's going off. Yeah. No one wants that, do they? Yeah. So
fixed.
Say again.
It's a fixed.
It's fixed. Yeah. So you rent everything from us. Yeah, for a fixed fee. But the thing is, a business going to all these different providers is tough. So the convenience of a one-stop shop is golden. And I had this idea in April bank holiday 2021. Me and Chris were sat upstairs and we came in to write the vision and the mission. I said to him, and my stuff just comes to me. Like I'll be in the middle of the convo and I go, I've just had a fucking great idea. Yeah. And because I always, after Impra, I needed something that was going to give me quantum leap in wealth. Yeah. So you need a quantum leap event. Yeah. What's a quantum leap event? It's an exit. Yeah. Or it's a listing on the stock exchange. Really. Yeah. Because your organic profits in your business as you grow will make you some money, but it's not a quantum leap event. The quantum leap event has to be, one of those two things. And I said to him, we're going to go, because I like to do things I've not done before. So I was like, right, we're going to list this company on a stock exchange, but the idea's got to be big enough for people to want to buy into it. So I tell you what we'll do is we'll become Trade Group and we'll do a one-stop shop for trade and construction business owners. And then we started testing these services and they were selling and they were good, but we were small. There were operational challenges. I was trying to get the training business right. At the time, we were still doing 2-day courses, masterminds. We didn't have the academies. It was a bit fragmented. So there was only 12-something people and we were trying to do too much at the time. And so I put a hold on all of them services and it's not been since, I think I kicked back off with Trade Design with Jonathan in, I think it was July or August.
About 6 months ago, I think.
Yeah, about 6 months ago. And that's been great. Obviously, we did Trade Pod this year. We got Trade Design. We've got Casher now and Trade Recruit. We got Trade Digital in the wings. So
Trade Digital?
Websites, lead generation, pay-per-click, Facebook ads, SEO, everything. Wow. Full digital marketing services, basically. Okay. But I'm tiptoeing into that one. Because
risky business.
No one says much good about digital marketing agencies, do they? Yeah. And usually they're complaining about them, right? So it's a dangerous one to walk into because, as my first experience in business was when I was 20 when I realized that multiple services could kill a whole brand if one of the smaller services wasn't very good. And I had a building company when I was 23. And after a year into running Impra as a maintenance company for trade and construction. I had a building company when I was 23. And I started it off the back of launching Impra into property management companies. And they kept asking, have you got electricians? Have you got builders? Have you got this? Have you got that? And everybody I grew up with in Peterborough were trades guys. So most of my guys were either self-employed or I knew someone in the trade. So I was like, yeah, well, I have got them, but guess what? I'm launching a new business now, and so I'll manage all of these jobs, and I'll take a cut. And it got wild. I ended up with like 15 guys very, very quickly. We were doing extensions, refurbs. I mean, I had no fucking clue what I was doing. Pricing these jobs, but I was turning a profit. Yeah. And because I was just a nutty executor, great operator that would always get shit done, I could always pull it off. I'd have I'd have my friends' mums cleaning these apartments, doing end of tenancy cleans at 5 a.m. in the morning before people were coming in. I'm, running around dropping off mops, and it got wild. And then I remember we used this outsourced carpet company, and they were really dirt cheap, and I used to make a killing off the carpets, but they did a bad job, and then they wouldn't go back. And then the agent were like, Impra did a shocking job. And I'm like, what do you mean Impra? I mean, the carpeting of Impra Property Maintenance, it was called, not Impra as a whole. Yeah, Impra Gas is world class, and some of the building services were, but some of the outsourced services weren't very good, and I didn't have control. And I thought, man, that's going to hurt my brand if I don't maintain all this quality. Yeah. The job that I made £100 on, I'm going to let my whole brand get tarnished with. And so I remember then thinking, you've got to be very careful about what you sell. There's a quick buck to be earned in everything, but if you do everything, it can tarnish what you're a specialist at rather than a generalist. So I decided after a little, it was too much for me anyway. That business got too much for me, and I ended up shutting it down. I remember one of the agents called me on a Sunday, and they were kicking off. Why haven't you silicon underneath the kitchen cupboards? I'm like, what do you mean silicon underneath the kitchen cupboards? We don't silicon underneath the kitchen cupboards. And they were kicking off, and I must have been in a bad mood. And I emailed out to all the estate agents, right, I'm getting out the building game. Don't give me any more jobs. You got 4 weeks. We're done. I'm just staying in plumbing, and we're gonna build the best plumbing business.
Yeah, and you did.
Yeah,
you know, and got awards for it and everything. You know.
Yeah.
What was the biggest things that you learned at Impro when you were scaling to a national company and achieving what you did?
Okay, so Impro journey was crazy. 7 years from one man in a van to the largest independent boiler installation company in the UK.
Yeah.
A £1,500 transit connected 22 to £1 million a month in boilers at our peak. Now, across that journey, I learned a lot about myself. I learned that I could handle a huge amount of pressure, a lot of pressure, a lot of stress. I learned that I was willing to put everything on the line, my business before everything, relationships, health, fitness, social life. My business meant everything to me. Yeah. And I lived and breathed it, and sacrificed a lot to scale it. I learned that you can have people around you that are there to support you in your own mind, but they have different agendas. I had Lord Sugar as a business partner, a billionaire, when I was 25. What a level up. And having to deal with a character like that and learn about business and hold myself in a boardroom just made me realize that, if I'm going to be great at business, I can no longer be a great plumber. I've got to actually take this business thing seriously, learning about accounting, learning about sales, learning about marketing, learning about operations. Being a good MD means you master the 10% of everything. That means that you deliver nothing, but master the 10% of everything so you can hold everybody to account. I learned from him about leadership. I learned from him about decision making. There's so much more than just being a good operator. Being a good decision maker is key. It's all decisions. Every day is a game of decisions.
Okay.
You got to decide and take an action. Yeah. If you don't decide something every day and take an action every day, then tomorrow's just the same. So like every day I'm firing off 5 to 6 decisions of what's going to happen to progress us, move us forward. Yeah. And you just got to be willing to take action. I understood that success isn't guaranteed and failure isn't final. I had a strange experience from maybe 23 to 29. Everything I touched turned to gold for a period of time. And Alfie Best said to me, look, the thing that you got wrong and the thing that I got wrong is that we believed our own hype. Yeah, and I definitely did. I mean, by the time I was 29, I thought I was untouchable. Everything I was doing, I just books, podcasts, business, buying Lord Sugar out, sales, growth, expansion. I was just on it until I probably grew too big, maybe took my eye off the ball and got distracted. And then the universe sent me a reminder. They said, right, we're going to teach you a lesson. And they right hooked me, knocked me on my ass and sent me all the way back down the ladder.
Let's get back. Look what I've done since then. That's just a blip in reality, Your character, you've come back and you're smashing it again. So, that's massive, man.
It was a humbling experience, a hard one, a very bitter pill to swallow, because I gave my life to Impro. And, despite what some people might think, I never wronged, robbed, stole, did any bad business. I didn't take from anybody. And whenever a business goes bust, especially owing money, people think that you've nicked it. And they think that you've taken it from somebody. And I'm an honest businessman. And we grew, and when a business goes into liquidation, and I have voluntarily put part of it into liquidation, and I had to shut it down, and I can explain a bit more about what that means and how that works. But when you put a business into liquidation, you get investigated by the insolvency service. Yeah. So they come along, they do their due diligence, they understand whether you've been doing something called wrongful trading, and we passed with flying colours. If you did something bad, you would get expelled as a director. You wouldn't be able to run another company, which obviously didn't happen to me. Yeah. And so it meant everything was ethical and everything was moral. It was just bad timing.
Okay.
And but it was a very, very big lesson, and probably one that needed to happen to set me up for the big goals that I've got coming. Because, if you can't handle that, you're not going to be able to handle doing 100 million or $1 billion, because I'm sure there's a lot more that's going to come my way over the next few years. And, now I feel like I am pretty strong. After bouncing back, there ain't much I can't take.